Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Marvel Zombies unboxing. Of course, it's a zombie-side game. This video, we're going to go through 3 different sets. We're not going to spend a lot of time on the last 2. The first one we're going to go through is the Artist Special Edition set with art by Marco Checchetto. I hope I pronounced that right. So he's got some different characters that he's drawn, and he provided the artwork for these based off of those. I don't know if he had any hand in them designing how the characters worked or what they did, or if he just provided the artwork. But we're going to get some Old Man Logan, Wasteland stuff. We're going to get some Daredevil stuff. So just 6 new heroes to play as. It should be really fun. No kicks. I think the set itself might have been Kickstarter exclusive, but there was nothing like inside that was extra Kickstarter exclusive outside of probably the box itself. So we will go over those. Then we will hop in and look at the tile set quick, and then the plastic tokens. But I'm not going to, again, spend too much entire time on them, because if you've watched all my previous videos, or go back watch them if you haven't watched them, however, I did already view all this different stuff at one point. This is just to show what are in these in case you're interested in picking up the extra mechanics. But we'll do that separate, so that way if you don't care about them, you can go ahead and just skip them and hop right into, you know, just you can watch the new character video and then skip the rest of it. Alright, so what do we have here? First of all, we have another living Spider-Man. And these are all living characters. There were no zombies. So I don't know if he just decided not to do zombies, or if he's just trying to do it off of current artwork that he's been doing, or exactly what his motivation for these characters were. That would have been kind of a neat little Kickstarter thing to do. Heads up, Simon, if anyone from Simon watches any of my videos, if you do guest artist pack, it'd be cool to have the guest artist pop in for an update and be like, hey, this is why I chose these particular characters, or why I did these. Sometimes you get background on who the characters are in the comic book lore for this one or the other zombie side games, like what the lore of the character would be like with any other unlocked character. But I'd like to hear why the artist chose them characters, especially if they're not like original characters. But alright, so we're going to start off with this neat, unique Spider-Man miniature. Here's literally, he's a wall crawler. Just gives a different version of Spider-Man that we haven't seen before. Really neat artwork. Now, technically, you could probably play this one with any of the Spider-Man cards, or the other Spider-Man Living Spider-Man card if you chose to. Focus. There we go. We want to get some of that detail in there. So it does look almost like an old school Spider-Man artwork style. That's definitely cool. So there's his actual artwork for that. Spider-Man has a couple of abilities. He has acrobatics, melee attack for 3 and 4, web shooters. Once during each enemy phase, when the enemy in a zone of your choice within range 2 would move, you may spend 2 power to prevent that from moving. Cool, so it stops him from moving. Spidey sense, each time enemies spawn within range 2 before any rush, you may spend 1 power to perform 1 free attack or move action. So if they enemy phase, when enemy in a zone of your choice within 2 range of move, you may stop them from moving. Within range 2 before rush, you may spend 1 to move away from them or attack them. And then team player, once during your turn, you may have one other superhero within 2 range perform 1 free action and resume your turn. So that's kind of cool. So it's all based on being a little bit it's kind of interesting. All his stuff are based within range 2, and then he has acrobatics, which is melee attack. This would have been, I think, a more effective character if he would have had like web shot, like as his main ability. He could shoot like at least 1 space away, because then he'd have the option to like use his web shooters and his spider sense to stay at distance from everybody to use his attacks. But here you're forcing him to get up to use acrobatics. I get within 2 ranges, melee range. But when you're given the option to stay up to 2 spaces away to do all these other actions, it'd be neat for him to be able to stay ranged away from him too. Like team player, he could shoot from a distance and then giving action to a close-up melee character. But, you know, they did what they did, and that's what it is. I'm not gonna... Not my judgment to question it. Alright, up next, we have... Well, of course, I always have to say who is... If everybody is Spider-Man. Peter Parker. Unless that's an alternate reality version, or a dressed-up version. Here we have Daredevil, good old Matt Murdock. Again, these are neat because we've already had some of these characters. But there's some cool, unique poses. Yeah, it would be neat to have gotten brand new characters, 100%. But even still, it's not bad. We got another walk, don't walk sign like we had with Ben Grimm. And the fire hydrant. They're reusing some of those assets, of course. They did take a little bit of artistic liberty, it looks like, from his artwork. So if we flip over to his artwork, his stoplight has 6 lights on it, and this one's only a 3 lighter. Probably just easier. And like you said, the stop sign, walk sign's a little bit smaller, but you know, that's just what it is. But yeah, it's kind of cool. He has like this club down here at the bottom, which is really fun as well. They do the best they can with these artworks. So you have Baton Strike, melee for 2 and 3. No fear. Whenever you eliminate a brute or zombie hero, you may draw 1 heroic trait. Cool. Through Hell, you may spend 1 less power when using heroic traits. Each time you draw a heroic trait, eliminate 1 walker or runner in your zone. Okay, cool. So now those are going to combine together. So you can, if you eliminate a brute or a hero, you gain a trait. And now they're cheaper to play. You draw a trait, which now then you can eliminate a walker or a runner. So basically, eliminate a brute or a zombie eliminates 2 guys. Plus, since your traits are cheaper at orange, you're going to spend them more, so you want to draw them more. And then Devil's Reign. Each time a zombie hero spawns, you gain 4 power. Then you may immediately perform 1 free action. Nice. So yeah, it's going to kind of work together. Zombie hero spawns, take them out, draw your free trait. Eliminate a walker or zombie, and you're already spending 1 less, so actually your power is going to be a lot cheaper to use, and you can keep using them traits. Cool. So kind of like a bunch of acrobatic combat together. Makes sense for Daredevil. Alright. Up next, we also have Daredevil, which is crazy, right? We have 2 Daredevils in this set. We have Daredevil Elektra. So this is a newer version of the character, which is very also an interesting concept, just because for the most part, every character on here, they seem, for the most part, they either seem to be some are their 90s version costumes, some are more modern costumes, but they're all like ones that have been around for quite a while, or for a few years. So, like, this one's a fairly recent one, so this might not be around she might not even be around as the time this video comes out. I'm assuming she probably still is. I don't follow Daredevil and Elektra that closely. But that's still pretty cool. It's just a dance around, but we get another Elektra / Daredevil. She has her size. You can't really see it as well on the miniature, but Daredevil's mask is down here at the bottom. Or it could be her mask and she just took it off, because where's she going to put all that hair inside that mask, right? Well, it kind of looks like a mixture of like her costume, Daredevil's costume, and like a hand outfit. Baton Sai. So, yeah, it's neat. There's like a dull side at the end, so it looks like a baton, which is like the 2 prongs on the side. Melee for 2 and 3. Woman without fear. Before attacking with Baton Sai, you may spend 1 power to eliminate 1 brute in the target zone, or score 1 hit against a zombie hero. Interesting. So you get 1 free hit already against the hero, so now you have 1 less damage. So I wonder why they did it that way, as opposed to just saying like reduce its toughness. Interesting. Slip away. After completing any attack, you eliminate at least 1 enemy and may perform 1 free move action, ignoring enemies. Okay, so kind of like hit and run. So as long as you defeat it, you get a free move action, but you also get to ignore enemies, which is really nice, because then she can really move through guys if you need to. And then hand-to-hand expert. You roll any misses once during your turn, you may perform one free baton psi attack. Nice. Yeah, she's going to do some quick damage, get a move around a bit, hit and run tactics, I think, with her. Spend one, eliminate a brute, so that way you can target the runner. If there's just brutes and runners and walkers, you can target the smaller guys quickly, or try and take out that zombie hero really fast. Nice, pretty sweet. Alright. Up next, we have, again, like I said, kind of interesting because we're going against the standard version of characters, and we're getting kind of some alternate reality versions. We have Old Man Logan from, of course, the Old Man Logan series and Wasteland, as it's been referred to as now because it's a series of books. There's Old Man Logan, Old Man Hawkeye, Old Man Star-Lord, and then just the Wasteland podcast series with some other characters. Yeah, so here's Grizzled Wolverine. Of course, I don't know. For the sculpt, it's like having his claws out. It's kind of cool. That's kind of more shows maybe like, I'd say this is more like when he made it to the regular universe and he actually used his claws again. But I almost would have preferred like the Duster version where he didn't have his claws pop. But again, kind of like having an ability where he wasn't using his claws would be interesting take on him. Like just be like a tank that takes damage but doesn't attack until maybe hits red and then maybe does extra attack. But I get it. It wouldn't be as fun maybe. Adamantium Claws, melee for 2 and 3. Grizzled. Once during your turn, you may spend 1 power to heal 1 wound or suffer 1 wound to gain 4 power. Nice. So if you can take damage to gain extra power to do stuff. You can always hear it. You could also additionally, 1 turn, take a wound, gain 4 power. You're back up to 4. Spend 1 to do something during your turn, knowing that it'll come back at the beginning of your next turn, right? And then now you have essentially 3 or 4 more turns to heal, right? You want to keep healing every turn. It also says once during your turn. So you don't have to use it right away. So you could do something like the first power that came in, then take a wound, cover back up to 4, right? Unleash Rage. Each successful die roll with Adamantium Claws scores 1 hit for each wound you have suffered. Cool. So basically force a wound to make his Adamantium Claws do 1 extra hit, which extra damage is really powerful. This also reminds me of in regular Zombicide, why can't I think of the name of it? It's basically Battle Frenzy. It's not the name of it, but it's just like when you keep attacking over and over and over using the same attack, you got extra die every attack. And I wish they would have had, like, Wolverine could have had that, like a Berserker Fury that did that. Like, if you perform Adamantium Claws, every time you perform it in succession, you got an extra die. So 2 dice and 3 dice and 4 dice. But then you wouldn't be able to move or play actions or play traits. It would, like, limit that. That would be kind of neat, too. Destructive Advance. After performing Adamantium Claws attack, if there are no enemies left in your zone, you may perform 1 free move action, then 1 free claw. So, hit and run and hit. He hits, he runs, and then he hits. But he has to have somebody, he has to take everyone out first. So regular hit and run like Elektra's, you just have to eliminate 1 guy. He has to take out everybody. But still, it's pretty cool. It's definitely a different way to take on Wolverine. And then to go with him, we are going to get Old Man Hawkeye, Clint Barton. So it's so different he is from the other Hawkeye, who had a lot of stuff for like bouncing off arrows and taking out multiple guys, which is what Hawkeye does. But remember, this one is blind. His arrows has a little pouch with him, which is he just launched an arrow, which is really cool. Oh, it's like that. He has on his base, he has Moonstone's mask and Baron Zemo's mask, which kind of goes back to his storyline where he was hunting down the Masters of Evil. Or is that Beetle's mask? I think it might be Beetle's mask, but that's pretty cool as well, right? Alright, bow and arrow, range of 1 with 2 and 3. Covering fire. During each other superhero's turn, if they're within 2 range after they complete an attack, you may eliminate 1 walker in their zone. Interesting. So yeah, you can help take out other guys that are in the middle of combat. Trick shot. Ignore target priority when attacking. Before attacking with bow and arrow, you may spend 1 power to gain 2 roll and reroll any misses. Nice. Definitely fun. So yeah, more pinpoint precise attacking versus taking out a bunch of targets. Enhanced awareness. At the start of each enemy phase, you may perform 2 free bow and arrow attacks. These attacks may also target different zones. Nice. So yeah, he's going to get to take out a lot of guys, but he has to pinpoint who he's taking out, versus I think the other Hawkeye had more stuff like taking out multiple guys in their zone or taking out this. It's nice that he plays fairly differently. Cool. And then we have one other playable character who is not a hero. We have, but he's also part of the Wastelander series, we have Marshall Bullseye. So I love this series. He was working for Red Skull as basically Red Skull's top assassin, except he, you know, kind of did whatever the hell he wanted in the end. But yeah, he's tearing around Elektra's size because in this storyline he took her Elektra. So I'm assuming that's kind of some of the theming behind that too, why we have him and Elektra. That's kind of neat. So we got the crossover between Bullseye and Elektra, and then Daredevil, Bullseye, and Elektra, and the Wastelander characters as well. Also needs bowler hats on the bottom. I just love the look as well, like kind of like the old cowboy look. It's really neat. Alright, what does Marshall Bullseye do? He has dual size melee for 2 dice and 3 accuracy. Worthy target. Zombie heroes have -1 toughness, minimum of 1, against their dual psi attack. Each time you eliminate a zombie hero, perform 1 free attack. Okay, so he's going to target the big dogs. That's what he's going to do. Anything is a weapon. During your turn, you may discard 1 heroic trait card to perform 1 free dual psi attack. This can be done multiple times. Nice. It doesn't work as well with his top one, because unless you miss the attack, then you get more extra attacks. But like, hopefully how often are you gonna have multiple heroes in the same location? Hopefully you're either taking them out or they're spread across the board. And not worth my time. You cannot suffer wounds from walkers and runners. Oh, cool. Doesn't even care about the small fries. So yeah, he can just be focusing on the big guys. That's definitely neat. That's a cool character. Alright, then we have their extra tiny cards if we fight against them. So we have Old Man Hawkeye. Can attack from two zones away. Each time a zombie hero moves into his zone, roll a die. On a 4+, they suffer 1 wound. Daredevil. If his zone is attacked but he is not eliminated, by the attacking zombie must discard 1 bystander card or suffer 1 wound. Marshall Bullseye. Gains a falling based on the highest danger level. Cumulative. So blue has no effect. Yellow, he has 4 toughness. In orange, he has 2 zones per move action and 3 actions per action. Oh crap, he gets really hard as you go along. 4 health, 2 zones, and 3 actions. Ugh. Daredevil, Elektra. Last target and target priority. If a shield agents in her zone are eliminated, she moves one zone away. Cool, so she gets to keep dodging. She's a dodgy character. Old Man Logan. If Trooper Rush card is drawn, he activates and performs a 1 action. If Guard Rush is drawn, place him in the closest zone with a zombie hero. Yeah, she's protective. He's going to run up and help take everyone out. And then Spider-Man. Each time a zombie hero enters the zone with a bystander on a die, roll a die. On 5+, spawn 1 superhero. Spawn a superhero in that zone. Not move him to that zone or move a hero to that zone. Spawn a new hero in that zone. So I wonder if you're playing with him, if you have to then essentially have more than the 5 characters, like the 6 characters you normally have or 10 characters you have in the deck. However you have to almost have more just in case. Or I'd say if that doesn't happen, if you only have you know, like decks have 5 characters, you only have 5 out, this everyone gets a free activation. That would be pretty crazy. Alright, so that is what we have for the artist guest pack. So yeah, if you like the artwork or if you like the new characters, it's definitely something maybe worth pick up if you just like some more cool guys. You know, or it might not be your thing. You might not be that worried. You might not care about alternate versions of these characters. Like, hey, I already have a Bullseye, an Electra, or I have a Spider-Man. I know that some of these guys, especially the living versions, are only Kickstarter in the Kickstarter exclusive stretch goal box, so you might not be able to find them in sets anyhow. But it's still definitely a neat set. I'm glad that I like that they've been doing these in Zombicide games where they only did like 1 versus like some of the older ones where they did like 6 to 10 boxes, because they're so hard to find in aftermarket. Especially if the art's really good or the character or the artist is really good. Like, not just the artwork, but the artist is popular. Like, people might buy it for that because, hey, I really like that art or that theming of that character. It's really cool. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Again, this is Marco Checchetto. Yeah, I've read the Wastelanders, the Old Man Logan stuff. Not as familiar with the Daredevil stuff. I don't know if this version of Spider-Man is just a classic version or if he appeared somewhere else in his series or not. Alright, we're going to take a look at the tile set and the plastic. So if you don't care about them, feel free to leave. Thanks for watching this part of the video. Otherwise, we'll take a brief look at them. We're not going to spend too much time. Alright, so first up we have the tile set, which has all 32 game tiles and a bunch of tokens from all of the different sets. So if we flip this over, it will show them. We have the 9 tiles from the core set. We have the 6 tiles from Hydra Resurrection, which is, this is of course New York, Manhattan area, various locations for that. Hydra set has the Hydra base, and on the other side it has the Shield Helicarrier. Clash of the Sinister Six, which we have Central Park, and on the opposite side we will have the Subway, X-Men Resistance 9 tiles, which is the X-Mansion. The flip side is the upstairs floor and the underground, like, Cerebro Danger Room base. And then the Fantastic Four Under Siege tiles, the 4 of them, which is 4 different floors of the Fantastic Four Baxter Building and the other sides. So why would you want to buy the tile set is the big question, I guess someone would ask. Most Zombicide games, I would say, if you buy it, it's more or less, you can, you can't, it's whatever. The whole idea would be, because every side is dual-sided, is that then you could play with the 2 sides together, like, so if like one side had, you know, like on here, so if one side has like the Daily Bugle, and the other side's the Avengers Mansion, you could play at the Avengers Mansion and Daily Bugle together. And like most games, that'd just be if you're playing just through all the pre-made scenarios, whether it's from the books or the online ones they add, there's no reason to pick them up, because none of them are ever going to use tiles twice. They're always going to assume everyone only has 1. This is just if you want to do custom games. I would recommend this if you like to play custom games, you like to make your own custom maps, just to make the game more interesting, because you get lots of different tiles. So like, here we got like a clothing store, and then if we flip it over, we have the Wakandan Embassy. So maybe you want to have the Wakandan Embassy, and you want to have that. You want to have a bigger setup. I think the base game tiles are kind of like hit or miss on if you really need doubles of them, just because they're kind of your basic city. I think more of the reason why I would recommend it for this set is stuff like X-Mansion. So here we have like some tiles for like the basic floor here, and then on the flip side we have the underground. So what can happen though is if you want to play the underground with Cerebro, which I know these aren't lining up, you can't play with the floor tiles as well. So most of the maps are either the 4 underground tiles, and then the 6 underground tiles, and then 3 tiles for the upstairs, or they're like part of the expansion with just the upstairs. Like, the idea is if you have both, you could literally set out all of them and play the entire expansion together. Have all 3 floors available to go through. The same idea is going to go with the Baxter building, although most of these, other than like the basic tile here, most of these are single rooms that have 1 floor, or 1 exit, because you're going from floor to floor. Is you can only play one of these floors at a time. So if I'm playing with this floor, I don't have access to the living quarters. You know, if I'm playing with the transporter room, I don't have access to the science lab. There is even one mission in the game where it literally has you, as you clear floors, you flip the tiles over. That's the first time I've ever seen a game do that. But if you have the extra tile set, you can have all 8 tiles laid out. You know, 4 for each side. And that way you can have all 8. You can even have a thing where you can use the elevator to go from one different floor to the other. Instead of just down 1, down 1, down 1, you could go to all 8 floors. There's some definitely different options in there. The other fun one for that would again be like Hydra helicarrier. So you could have the Hydra base on the other side of the helicarrier. Normally you're playing either the Hydra stage or the helicarrier stage. Where here what you could definitely do then is you could have the helicarrier like above the Hydra base, right? Like each landing, you could have it trying to crashing, like access into the Hydra base. Like we're on the helicarrier, we're exiting the helicarrier onto the Hydra base, or vice versa, we're escaping from the Hydra base onto the helicarrier. You'd have different options to have them all out at the same time. And then the last set of tiles is of course Central Park and the subway. You could have the park, some of the park tiles with some of the subway tiles, maybe not have all 8 of them out at the same time, but you could definitely have like the city, and then in the base set, we actually have the map that goes down into the subway, right? So you could then have your Central Park hooked up to the subway tunnels, and then have that go down into like a set of other tiles that are subways without compromising not be able to have these, or you know, being that you only can play the other city tiles if you want to use this. So it can definitely add some more elements to that. So I might recommend these ones more than I would another zombie side game, because most, especially the core zombie side games, they're just a building with 2 streets or a 4-room, we had another 4-room with an L corner, 4-room L corner, 1 street, U-boat, 1 street, U-boat. It's like lots of the core ones tend to have the same thing repeated over. Yeah, the rooms inside are a little bit different, the doors are in different places. But the other map tiles get so much more interesting, so I can definitely see them picking this up if you'd like to do that, not really need all the other extra components, extra characters, all that. Additionally, like I would say, like compared to other zombie side games, like looking at modern zombie side, like core game, probably don't need extra tiles, but you might want some maybe for like Toxic City Mall or Prison Outbreaks. You have more of the different styles. In 2nd edition, they have the White House in Washington, D.C., and then like some of the other tiles on the other side end up being like the grounds outside with some military stuff. But if you only have one side of the game, you can only play either the White House or the stuff outside the White House. You can't play both. And that's kind of a neat thing. If you bought extra tiles, you could customize your game with that. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, if you'd like to get extra tiles. Now, the other thing is also going to come is, what if I bought the core game? What if I bought X-Men, the X-Men Resistance, and I bought, or just the core game? I bought either X-Men or just the regular zombie side. Can I pick up the tile set so I can play all these other missions? Potentially, yes. They should work for the fact as long as you have one of the 2 core sets, and you go online, you download the mission books, you have all the maps, you should be able to play. You do get a stack of tokens, which should get you a bunch of doors. We have our red broken doors, we have our green and our blue doors. We have spawn spots, red, green, blue. We have our different objective tokens for each color. We have 4 gas containers, the Avenger symbol, the Sentinel symbol, which are used in some of the scenarios. If we flip this over, broken, explosions, we have just our tiles, which are all red, so you don't know which ones are which. All our closed doors, and then we also have some broken windows. The difference is going to be is the number of things you get in each one. Because you get, I think, you actually get more canisters than you do in the regular set. So like here's the tile set from Hydra Resurrection. You only get 3 canisters, so here you actually get 4, so you get an extra canister. But they gave you 9 extra doors to cover the jail cells. So here you might not have enough doors to do both. Again, you are playing with the base set as well, so maybe between the two you might have enough. I don't think I have the X-Men token set around, but I think you get 9 windows. So you're getting additional windows, but if you only bought the regular core set and then this, you could play the X-Mansion, but you might not have enough broken windows to satisfy that goal. The only other tokens you're not getting in here, weirdly enough, is you're not getting the team versus team from Sinister Six, and you're not getting the elevator tokens. I always thought that was weird. They always leave out some of the tokens for these games, so you can't always fully play. You just wouldn't have the elevator for the Baxter Building or the X-Mansion, so you'd have to use something else to represent those tokens. Otherwise, yeah, you could potentially pick up a base game, and then get this and play all the different stuff with all the different things. Especially if you picked up like the Kickstarter one, you have all them extra characters. You could probably play through all the missions. Just you might not have 100% all the correct tokens you would need. Just because you might not have enough. Some of them might require more because they came with any. But the only sets that came with extra ones would have been the X-Men. Which came with more windows, and then them other ones. But yeah, so definitely cool. You could pick that up if that's something you're interested in. And then speaking of tokens, we're going to look at our plastic tokens. So these are 1,000% optional if that is something you'd like, because they are going to be all of the tokens from the game. They are the small ones. Again, we're not going to get the elevator tokens. And there goes my camera. But we're going to get activation tokens, door tokens, window tokens. So if you bought this along with that tile pack, again, you probably have enough tokens for everything. For all the missions, even has Galactus tokens, team tokens for Sinister Six. The only thing you wouldn't have would be the elevators, because they don't usually put extra tiles. They kind of consider those tile spaces. So we're going to take a look at them. I'm going to pause for a sec so I can grab some of the other ones to do some comparisons. Alright, so this is all the tokens, pretty much spread out, like not fully, but there's, again, 77 of them. So you're going to get enough to play a full game. So, like, where if you bought the regular sets and you bought X-Men core set and the regular core set, you would have, X number of doors for that, X number of doors for that. You'd have, activation tokens for each set. You have doors in each set. You're going to basically double sets to each core sets. They're not giving you that many. You're getting enough to play one full game. So you're not getting any duplicates for every single thing. Same thing if you bought the tile set we just looked at previous in the video. You got more tokens. Like, you're not going to get some to replace all them in doubles. So I personally kind of wish I bought a second set of these just so I had all the extras. Just for the thought of it. I just, whatever reason I didn't do it. I didn't think I probably needed them for whatever reason, but no. So, are these worth it? That's 100% up to you. There's no extra gameplay out of it. The only thing you're going to kind of get out of this that, might help, especially if maybe you bought the tile expansion and you're like, I don't want to buy every single set. Because, again, you're going to get Galactus tokens and you're going to get Sinister Six tokens. You're going to get a few more window tokens because you'll get 9 of those. You'll get, a couple more I didn't get the same amount of chests and everything. You also get the number 1 spot in the exit, which, are on there, but if you ever wanted a duplicate. But yeah, you're going to get, like, those other 2 expansions that aren't included in the tile because they're gameplay modes. Now, again, you have to get Galactus, you have to download the thing, team set, you have to download the rules, but at least it would get you the tokens to be able to play with them, since maybe depending on, for Galactus, definitely getting those tokens if you want those cheaper, but you could also just, at the point of you're printing everything off anyhow, all his boards and cards and everything, you just print off tokens as well, so it's not that big of a deal. So what is really cool about these is the tactical feel of them and the degree. So here's a cardboard token here. I'm just going to slide all of this out of the way so I can kind of zoom in and focus on this a little more. So there's a cardboard token. They're durable. Like, I mean, I'm not like bending it in half or anything. After time, picking them up, and they might chip on the sides of it. It's bound to happen, but they tend to be pretty durable for the time. But like physically, the plastic tokens are same size, same shape, all that stuff. Height-wise, they're the same. Maybe even actually slight bit smaller. So they're not, and weight, I don't know, like just lifting weight, they're probably about the same. Maybe they're a little bit more, maybe they're a little bit less, I'm not sure. The pictures on there are really cool, but you can see they have like raised artwork on there, which just kind of makes it a little bit cool. They could have just made them plastic with like a sticker printed on them. But the fact is that they're kind of painted in there, like it means the pictures aren't going to like wear off at any time. Anytime soon. They have that kind of neat tactical feel to it. So yeah, if you think your tokens are going to wear out over time, plastic tokens are definitely nice to have. Let's look at a couple other ones here. So like the doors are pretty cool as well. So yeah, you get like that tactical, like little bumps on there, just have a little bit raised up a bit. Again, they could have just made them plastic with like printed images on there. Like again, even on this side, right? Like the door handle sticks up a little bit. The little door part sticks up, so it's kind of cool there. We got something like the Sentinel hand, which, for whatever reason, it's the opposite direction, which is kind of interesting. I have two different hands now. Don't know why they did that. Someone just probably overlaid the artwork wrong or something. And then if we flip it over, we have, again, reverse hands. But yeah, that's the whole thing. It's these things, like this one being a little bit bigger. Actually, like if I flex this and I flex this, I can feel like this plastic flexing a little bit more. But like, why are you picking up your tokens trying to snap them in half? Would be the definite big question there. And then even like your zombie tiles, get that as well. So we get that little bit of inlay in there. Now, none of these are going to stack or do anything like that, so they're not going to be helpful that way. But they are definitely kind of neat to have. I've been buying, ever since I've been seeing CMON release these, I've been buying all mine. The only thing, again, it kind of sucks is if you want to have really fun, big custom games, sometimes it's nice to have more. Like, it would have been neat to have a second pack, so I could have 2 Sentinel hands, right? So you could have them staggered across the boards if you had bigger boards. Or more canisters here. So like I only got 3 in here, which would have been the same as the base game. But like with the tile set, now I have 4. So now I have 7 total regular cardboard tiles, but I only have 3 plastic. And some of this, it just, whether you like that artwork with the raised fire or not, that's, again, an aesthetic choice. So yeah, the plastic tokens are definitely neat to have for a replacement. But they're not a necessity. It's just, if you like them, they definitely look pretty cool. They stand up on, but again, they're not physically any higher on the board. They're not like a 3D object on the board. They're not 3D doors, 3D canisters. They do, some games make components. You can buy components to do that. That'd be kind of neat as well. If you could get like a 3D version of this with like one side's red, the other side's also red, or maybe it's blue. But typically, I've noticed lots of games when they do 3D ones, if officially they do 3D tokens and they're not painted, so you'd have to then paint all your stuff. You have to paint your doors. They do make, Zombicide does make doors. They have in the past that open and close, but that was also because I think some of the games had open and closed door mechanics. These ones are now open, or they're closed or broken. So it's hard to show that in both ways. And if you have a door that just opens left to right, that might confuse some players thinking then they could close doors, which isn't the case. I've seen customized ones online where people like make little 3D tokens. They have like a regular door and then a broken door. I personally feel like I'd rather in that case just use a token or have a door that swings open. I don't want to have to keep, oh, I gotta pick up this token, put another token. That means now if I have 10 doors on my map, I have to have 20 tiles out, you know. Or they had one for the windows where you could have like a broken window, which then you laid a broken tile on the table. Well, then why do I have a 3D door and a broken tile, you know? So it's kind of neat. 3D objects are definitely fun, but I can see where tokens, they can get kind of be a pain. They're definitely neat, so you can see them a little bit quicker. But I don't think these guys, also I don't think these stand out any better on the board. So if I have a broken door versus a tile, I mean, I don't think it necessarily stands out. I mean, being 3D, it does, like, it sticks out. It does actually kind of, like, help it not blend in a bit, because they have kind of, like, a sheen or a gloss to them. So that does kind of help a little bit, but, like, we have, like, a fire token and a regular canister. Like, I think they're big enough tokens that you can easily tell where they are in a room. Like, the doors, maybe, because they kind of blend in, but, like, your spawn points are going to be pretty much noticeable, I think, no matter what, because they're big, giant, colored tiles on there. Alright, but yeah, easy enough to pick up either one. I don't think that's an issue. But again, if you keep picking these up, you're going to dig your nails into them. It might eventually start causing stuff. So it might just depend on how often you play. Alright, that is what we have for plastic tokens. One last minor thing just to mention with this, so maybe if you see these on sale, if it might be worth picking up, is the Deceased Zombicide game, which just recently kickstarted, is not including plastic tokens. It follows a lot of the same crossover stuff with Marvel, so it's going to have a lot of the same spawn symbols, doors. So if you do like plastic tokens, and you would like some for the Deceased game, you're going to have to pick up the Marvel set. Again, you're going to have all these extra tokens like the Sentinel Hand, or maybe the Broken Glass, and things like that don't cross over. Well, you just got extra for your Marvel set, or if you don't have Marvel and you're just doing the Deceased, it might be worth picking up. But keep an eye if you see them on sale. I've seen them going for like $50 for one of these boxes, which I don't remember what they were in Kickstarter, but it seems a little high that people are reselling them for, but they were, I think, Kickstarter exclusive. But if you do see them out on sale, and you see them on sale cheap, and you're looking at picking up Deceased in the future, when it hits retail or the Pledge Manager or whatever, might be something definitely worth picking up one of these ahead of time so you have it for when that game comes out. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.